I'm sure you're all familiar with this whole Titanic submarine situation. I've seen more coverage of this news than I have my parents at this point. It's all I'm hearing, it's all I'm seeing about. So I figured I'd talk about it because the situation is pretty insane. So what happened is that a 5-person crew hopped inside this little iron lung called the Titan, which is owned by Ocean Gate Expeditions, and the trip itself, just to be in the submarine, is 200. Sorry, I almost threw up from how much money it is. It's $250,000 per person to go on this little trip. So they all hopped in there after forking over daddy's money and went down to about 13,000 feet below the ocean surface to see the wreckage of the Titanic. And not too long after they all hopped in and started this journey, to be exact, it was an hour and 45 minutes after they began their little expedition, that they lost all contact with the people in the submarine, and they, to this date of me recording this, have no idea what happened. All they know is that the submarine was lost about 900 miles east of Cape Cod in the North Atlantic, and like I said, they were in a depth of water about 13,000 feet. The submarine only has about 40 hours left of breathable air as of Tuesday afternoon, and I'm recording this on Wednesday, so they're right around 1 day of oxygen left before it's completely hopeless and they have no chance of being rescued. And now real quickly, I want to show you the inside of this submarine just to show you how insanely cramped it looks. Like, this is the inside of it, and they're paying $250,000 to go on this journey. I think you would have to pay me way more than $250,000 for a chance of me getting on this thing. But anyways, an even crazier part here, if you watch this video, is the way that the submarine is controlled. They are running this thing, controlling this submarine.
Yeah, so we run the sub with this game controller. It's a
with a with a Logitech controller that's as ancient as the dinosaurs.
Made by Logitech, but it's basically a Sony PlayStation style controller. If you want to go forward, you press forward. If you want to go back, you press back. If you want to turn to the left, it's like that. You want to turn to the right, you turn to the right.
And that right there is absolutely absurd to me. You're paying $250,000 to go on this little expedition, and the most they can fork over in terms of steering this thing that is completely in control of your existence is a $30 little PlayStation style controller. You're literally controlling it with a video game controller. That is insane to me. That is ridiculous. And as far as I know from reading about this situation, all the possibilities of what could have happened, what could be going on with them right now, is that one, they are currently stuck underwater at the Titanic, like they went exploring around it and somehow the submarine got stuck inside the Titanic itself, and that's why they can't surface, because there is mechanisms on board this submarine to allow them to surface. There's multiple different ways to get them to the surface. And then the second option of what could be going on is that they could be surfaced somewhere in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean and they just don't know where they are. They haven't found them yet because they're doing like aerial searches. They're flying around. They're looking all around trying to see if they have surfaced somewhere. And then the third option, which is probably the best at this point, is that they could have just, something went wrong with the submarine and it completely imploded on itself and collapsed and most likely killed them all instantly. Regardless though, this is a horrifying situation all around. Not fun whatsoever. And hopefully they do get found. Hopefully we get a happy fairy tale ending to this story, but it is looking very grim currently. And now that I've gave all my condolences, done my due diligence as a good human being, let's read this tweet right here. A billionaire stuck at the bottom of the ocean? Surely he can pull himself up by cutting down on unnecessary spending and picking up a side hustle. You just gotta find the humor in things, you know? I feel so messed up doing that, but it's such a funny tweet. And then the comments to this tweet are funny too. There was one, I can't find it anymore, but they said, "We have plenty of air up here. Surely some will trickle down to them." And one more thing I forgot to mention about the submarine itself. Even if they were to be able to surface and get up to like the surface of the ocean and float around and be out from the depths of the ocean, they can't open the submarine from the inside. The way this thing is crafted is that someone has to open it from the outside. So they literally are trapped in there. That's actually my worst nightmare. Not to be narcissistic and make this whole thing about me, but there's not a shot in hell. There is more chance that I would go What's something insane? There's more chance that I would go to the middle of a public park where a bunch of children are playing and flop my cock and balls out than there is I would get into this submarine. I would rather become a convicted sex offender by exposing myself to underage children than getting into this little death trap. And another crazy thing I just seen after I ended this video is that they're putting out a documentary about this submarine going missing before they've even recovered the people or found out what happened to them. It's going to be airing, I think it said tomorrow night, and that's right around the time they're going to figure out, or they're going to be running out of oxygen in the submarine. They couldn't even wait till they ran out of air. They had to pump out this documentary. Dude, that is absurd. They literally got a documentary out faster than they could the people in the submarine. That's bananas. And how I see this whole situation is that I don't think humans should be in the ocean in the first place. We can't breathe underwater. We're not Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy. We don't belong down there. Humans can breathe on land, so we should stay on the land. We don't need to go down there in that little garbage can looking thing where our imminent death is just lurking around the corner. No, thank you. We should just stay above the water. We don't need to know. We don't need to go down there.